Imagine Superman takes a common criminal, flies him up in the air, and then just drops him for the world to see. Oh my goodness, Superman Doomsday was one of the coolest movies I have personally seen in a minute. I know what that sounds like, but trust me, they are cooking right here, bro. It's this plot about trying to figure out how Superman can go from a savior, somebody that Metropolis looks at as a symbol of peace, to suddenly being this person who goes on the streets and threatens grandmas. Like, imagine that. Look, this entire plot took me by surprise, I'm not gonna lie. When this movie began, it felt like a Doomsday movie, because that's what happens. Doomsday lands on Earth and gets unearthed by Luthor's illegal shenanigans and goes on a rampage. Basically, he has to fight Superman, but it happens so early in the movie that I was like, wait, what's gonna happen here? There is still a lot of runtime that we need to get through. So I was half the time confused at how are they actually gonna make this work. And lo and behold, they take him out in the first quarter, bro. And then the entire movie is about Luthor and Superman. Luthor basically finds a way to clone the DNA of Superman, and we have a badass Superman. Keep in mind, the real Superman was supposedly died when he fought Doomsday. So it's this like, yeah, it's a superhero movie, but it has a bit of mystery to it, and it goes beyond just like punches. It feels like super cool to watch. And this leads me into the characters in this movie. First thing, we have Luthor, right, who pretty much kind of is the mastermind of everything that goes wrong. But I genuinely love how stoic he's portrayed in this movie. He is cold, calculating, and just borderline him in this movie. Every single decision he makes, you're like, this is a man with selfish intentions. This is a bad guy. He is driving the plot forward. He is my guy. And then we have the evil Superman, the clone that is made by Lex Luthor. Absolutely incredible. I think it's a great portrayal of what would happen, right, if Superman was raised not only by Luthor, but what would happen in general if something just went a little off in the environment that Superman was raised in. Because this guy literally has all Superman's morality, but there's this dark side that you can see as a result of being around Luthor all the time. Like, he's not afraid to kill villains in order to get the job done. That's what I'm talking about here. And I love how they portray Superman here. He's this beacon of hope. He's super strong, but his biggest issues are human issues. Like, my man is genuinely just trying to cure cancer. Like, he understands that no matter how powerful he is, there's human stuff that he is beyond. He has relationship problems. He has to deal with commitment issues. And to me, that's crazy. An alien, basically a god, still has to deal with a girl saying, bruh, are we doing this or not? But honestly, the other characters are what I would expect from them. Lois Lane acts as Lois Lane has always acted. Super brash, cares deeply about Superman, wants a deeper relationship with Superman, very inquisitive, puts herself in danger, and all of that. The thing that threw me for a loop was how much Jimmy changed when Superman was gone. Like, he literally abandoned everything and tried out an entire new life and even adopted a new persona. That was interesting to see play out. And I love the art direction they took here. It's super old school, and to be honest, it makes sense. It was made in 2007. But they really take the time in terms of adding highlights and shadows. It doesn't feel flat when I look at the movie. In fact, Superman's costume was mad glossy, bro. Like, it was shining all the time. And I was like, bro, maybe that one we could turn it down. That one we could turn it down. And one thing I'm super intrigued by is how tan the characters used to be drawn. Like, when I see Luthor, I'm like, hey, that's a black man. That looks like one of us right now. That looks like one of us. But, you know, I'm a black man, so I always have a bit of representation. So I'll take anything that I can. It just shows me how much we've gone to the other side in terms of, like, you know, complexion and all of those things. And honestly, I do love the character design in this. Doomsday looks like an absolute soldier, absolute wrestler, and he fights like that, to be honest. You can see he was just made to do one thing, and that is fight. You don't look at Doomsday and think super intelligent, what beast. You think this is a monster that's here to kill people. Then you have Superman's design, which is, as I said, slightly a little too glossy for me. Never really been a fan of the underpants outside, but for any superhero, this is not a Superman thing. So, it is what it is. It genuinely is what it is. Lois Lane, everybody just looks exactly how I would expect them. I like the way Lex Luthor here looks. He looks super thin though. For some reason, when I think Lex Luthor, I think somebody more bulkier. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm thinking of the Justice League version. Yeah, I'm probably thinking about that. And I love how each of these characters help carry out the themes in this movie, right? Like, there's a lot about how to deal with loss. Like, the entire world basically has to grieve Superman, and we see Jimmy changing into a totally different person. Lois Lane losing all her confidence and basically becoming super secluded. We see the Chief basically become a more caring person for Lois because he now realizes that, oh hey, I can't let her do all these missions. Like, Superman isn't here to save her anymore. Even with Martha, you see how she's like super apprehensive and like super secluded, and how alone she is now that Clark is essentially gone. Even Luthor has to contend with, hey, even though this man is gone, he didn't go the way that I would have liked. He didn't go on my terms. And I don't like that. I feel like there's a lot about learning to open yourself up. I feel like Superman at the beginning, he's super closed off about who he is, and he pretends that it's because it's, hey, I'm Superman and I don't want you to get hurt. But maybe it's just like an overall fear of commitment, and by the end, he has to contend with that. Oh, I didn't say this in the characters section, but god damn it, that black suit is fire. A black suit is fire. And I will say, I do like the background music that they use here. Absolutely was accurate for each and every single scene, especially when Superman was having his heroic moments. This background music just made me feel like, oh yeah, we're gonna be okay. But bro, absolutely loved this movie. I guess one of the main reasons I loved it was I went into it thinking I knew how everything was gonna play out. But like the little twists and turns and the little character developments that happen here surprised me pleasantly enough that I was like, you know what, bro? You guys were cooking.